Have you ever wondered what the true purpose of a long-term relationship is? Beyond companionship. Beyond romance. Beyond building a life together. There's a deeper, often overlooked reason why these connections are so profoundly valuable. They help us to know ourselves. A key reason why relationships are so valuable is that they help us to know ourselves better. Being part of a couple can act as a mirror. A powerful and sometimes unflattering mirror. Helping us to truly understand who we are. Our partners. Living in close proximity to us day in and day out. Become the custodians of our hidden selves. They can often see the things we no longer can, the patterns we're blind to. The habits we've normalized. They see both what's genuinely adorable about us and, more importantly, what's perplexing and difficult. Think about it. By ourselves, we can live inside a comfortable bubble of self-perception. We are the heroes of our own story. But in a relationship, that story gets a co-author. And that co-author sees the plot holes. They might, for example, be the one to gently remind us. After we've regaled a group of friends with a story. Honey, that's the third time you've told that anecdote tonight. It's not a criticism. It's a data point. Or they might observe, with a kind tilt of their head, that the color purple, which we love, just doesn't bring out our best. More profoundly, they can be the voice of reason that pulls us back from the brink. They can tell us, I know you're upset, but I think you may have overreacted to that problem at work. Or they can be the caring critic who summons the courage to say, I'm worried you've placed your trust in an envious friend. I see the way they look at you when you succeed. These moments are pure gold. They're honest responses. When delivered with love, act as a compass, pointing us toward growth. They give us a precious, and often rare, chance to become slightly less obtuse, a little less peculiar, and a lot more self-aware. This is the incredible potential of love, to serve as a direct route to self-knowledge. But here's the paradox. Despite this incredible potential, in practice, we often walk away from relationships with most of our delusions firmly intact. Sometimes even more entrenched than before. Why does this happen? Why do we reject the greatest gift a relationship can offer? A large part of this problem comes down to one powerful, primal emotion, pride. Our ego is a fragile thing. We simply can't find it in our hearts to forgive our lovers for catching sight of the material that doesn't align with the idealized, curated image we have of ourselves. We enter a relationship hoping to be unconditionally admired, to be seen as a finished masterpiece. We want them to marvel at our strengths and be charmingly oblivious to our flaws. Then, reality sets in. They spot that we aren't always very funny. That our great novel is actually a bit patchy and we haven't written a new chapter in 6 months. They notice that we're prone to self-pity after a setback. Or that we lose our tempers far too quickly over small frustrations. Instead of seeing these bits of difficult news as valuable intellectual cues for self-improvement, or pride kicks in. Our defenses go up. We find it much easier to get insulted. We reframe their feedback not as an act of love, but as an attack. We accuse our partner of being mean, unsupportive, or inconsiderate. We block our ears to the truth because the truth hurts our pride. To justify this defensiveness, we fall back on a toxic but highly popular idea about love, the myth that in a good relationship, no one should ever be trying to change anyone. We tell ourselves, If they really loved me, they would accept me exactly as I am. This sounds romantic. But it's a trap. It presumes that we are perfect enough already. That we have no more room to grow. It's an excuse to remain stagnant. And this dysfunction is a two-way street. We aren't only bad at receiving feedback. We're often very poor at giving it. 2. Perhaps we see a pattern in our partner that genuinely worries us. Maybe they procrastinate on important health checkups or speak cruelly about themselves. We might start a measured, calm conversation. But if they react defensively, our own patience evaporates. After only a few minutes, we give up on kindness. We resort to blunt force. We call them a jerk. We get sarcastic. We slam the door. And in a moment of pure frustration, we shout that they're just as bad as their mother or father, the nuclear option in any argument. In that moment, any chance of learning is destroyed. The message is lost. And all that remains is the pain of the delivery. We fail as teachers. So how do we fix this? How do we capitalize on the incredible, transformative potential of relationships? It requires a conscious effort. A commitment to a new set of rules for love. Firstly, we must start by fundamentally changing our philosophy. We must insist, contrary to the romantic script, that true love is entirely compatible with gentle attempts to teach each other who we are and how we might improve. In fact, it's a sign of the deepest care. Think about it, the only people whom we don't want to change are those we don't truly care about. Apathy is the opposite of love. Not criticism. The goal isn't to change their core essence, but to help them become a more realized version of themselves. Secondly, and this is critically important, huge attention must be paid to the way we share our insights. We have to see ourselves as both willing students and, in turn, the kindest of teachers. This means mastering the art of timing. We should only try to divulge tricky things when we aren't still smarting from our contact with them. Don't bring up their chronic lateness when you're standing at the door, fuming, already 20 minutes late for a reservation. That's a recipe for disaster. Instead, you need to strike always when the iron is cold. Bring it up on a quiet Sunday morning, over coffee, when you both feel connected and safe. Thirdly, we must soften our verdicts with gentle, supportive language. Ditch the absolute statements. Instead of, "You are always so defensive," try, "I feel like sometimes." Perhaps a wall goes up when we talk about this. And I'm wondering why. Frame it from your perspective using "I" statements. We should say that we feel that they may be missing something. Not that we, our therapist, and our mother are all absolutely certain of their insanity. We have to remember a fundamental law of human connection: emotional truths can only ever be heard and accepted in an atmosphere of intimate safety. Your partner needs to know you are on their team, even when you're delivering a difficult message. Most relationships don't collapse from a single, dramatic event. They erode slowly. Death by 1,000 cuts. Because in the end, two people didn't truly want to know more about themselves. The knowledge was too hard to accept. And the way it was shared was too tough to bear. But it doesn't have to be this way. Given how much precious psychological information every relationship throws up, we can choose a different path. We can choose to be brave. Imagine a love where you feel safe enough to be imperfect and courageous enough to become better. Imagine a partnership where you can bring your flaws into the light. Not to be shamed, but to be understood and gently worked on. Together. This isn't a fantasy. It is the profound promise of a relationship built on trust, courage, and a shared commitment to mutual growth. This is the kind of love that doesn't just feel good, it does good. It's a dynamic, living thing that shapes both of you into the best possible versions of yourselves. This is the ultimate goal, a partnership where we learn to share our hard-won insights with unlimited tenderness. And where we strive to hear them always with trust, curiosity, and courage. It's a love where two people help each other heal, evolve, and finally, flourish together. If these ideas about love, vulnerability, and self-discovery resonate with you, and you want to continue exploring ways to build stronger, more meaningful connections in your life, please consider subscribing to our channel. Join our community as we continue to learn, question, and grow together. Thank you for watching.